Hi everyone, Richard Robbins here. Well, I want to give you another market update. Obviously, we got a lot going on here in Canada. We all know the Bank of Canada has now put up their rate by a quarter of a point, which really isn't a lot. But it's interesting what I'm hearing out there. A lot of people going, wow, we had the 16-point plan here in Ontario, or we should say the golden horseshoe. We've got interest rates starting to creep up. Obviously, inventory is starting to go up. But the mortgage affects all of Canada. So what I want to do, I want to talk a little bit about that, and then I want to give you two ideas at the end that I think will help you in the marketplace today. So what this is, historical posted 5-year mortgage rates. Okay, so this is a fixed rate. So if we go back, you can see back here in 1975, right? And then we get into the early 80s and look at this. I actually bought a house right here, if you can believe it, okay? And then obviously it started to drop down a little bit. And then what happened, if you remember, 1989, our market tanked. From 85 to 89, generally prices went up by over 100% in that 4 or 5 year period. But then what happened in 1989, our market tanked, right? But you can see back then interest rates were over 10%, mortgage rates, I should say. And then you can see we went along up a little bit. Then they all started to come down. And if you look here, our rates have been very, very low for a long period of time. Over 7 years, we've seen extremely low interest rates. So let's look at what's been going on over the last, say 20 years in the market. So if you go back, the last time, okay, 1989, we had a market drop. It went to 2008 before we had another market drop here in Canada. Now, what caused it in 2008? Obviously, we had the financial meltdown that took place in the U.S., but this was a blip. This went down for market change for a little while, sales were off for a little while, and then it started to pick up pretty quick. So really, we didn't have much of a downturn here. We had a huge downturn here. It took us a long time to recover from this. Okay, and now, of course, we're in 2017. So here's what I'm hearing. People are saying, but Rich, you don't know what's going on out there. There was somebody that contacted me and they go, hey, I watched your last video and you said, oh, the market's all not that bad. Well, you should be out here in Burlington and Oakville and see what's going on. But you want to know something? I think what's happening right now is we're overreacting to everything that's going on, because is it changing? 100% is changing. But you want to know something? It's still a great marketplace. And let me explain. See, what sometimes happens is we get a little condition and we create what I call a narrative. So what is a narrative? A narrative is a story connected to events, real or imagined. Now, think about this. Say for the last 7, 8 years, have we had historically low mortgage rates? The answer is yes. So the minute they start to go up, everybody thinks that's high. That is not high at all, because what I just showed you, we've had historically low rates. If you go right back to 1975 for the last 6, 7, 8 years. And we start to think that's normal. That's not necessarily normal. If you look at Toronto as an example, we've had 1 month of inventory. We've had multiple offers going on for many years. It got really hot the last couple of years, and then all of a sudden we go from 1 month of inventory, which I talked about in the last video, to 2.5, and everybody thinks the bottom's fallen out of the market. That's the wrong narrative. That's the wrong story. Remember, a story that is real or imagined. So what happens is people start to create these stories. There's drama. People start talking about it. And yes, it's different. I'm not suggesting it's different. But what I'm saying to you, it's not as bad as what I'm hearing from everybody. Now think about this. If you have 2.5 months of inventory, you still got a market that's very, very strong. Right? Now, we go right across Canada. Inventory is different. But what you want to do is you want to be a realist, okay? Don't make the problem worse than it is, because everybody gets caught up and they think that this isn't normal, what's going on right now. What was going on before wasn't normal. Multiple offers for a number of years is not a normal market. That's an overheated market. We're getting back to a more balanced market. We're getting back to a real market where buyers can take their time to make the right decision. Sellers can take their time in terms of putting their house on the market. So what I'm going to suggest is this. There's 2 things we got to do. Number 1, make sure, okay, that you're telling yourself the right story. Don't get caught up in the drama. Don't make things worse than they are. Don't listen to people that are making things worse than they are. And then the second thing is competence, the ability to perform the job required. So the question is, are you competent in this market? We have so many agents that have been in the market for only 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 10 years, whatever the case is. And guess what? They know nothing else. They think what they've seen for the last 10 years is normal. Well, I've been in real estate since I was 24 years old, and I'm now 56. That is a long time. And I've seen all kinds of markets. I was in real estate in 1989, February of 89, where the bottom fell out of the market. And guess what? Was I still successful in the next 12 months? Of course I was, because what I did was I developed my competence. I decided, what did I need to do to succeed in the marketplace? So all of a sudden, we're not getting multiple offers in some areas, in some geographical areas, and everybody starts to panic. And I'm going, whoa, that just requires a what? A new competence. Now, here's what I mean by competence. Imagine this. You're sitting with a seller, and the seller, of course, they have to get adjusted to the new market. Some it will take a while. Some just want to know what's going on. What is your job? Your job is to help buyers and sellers make the best possible decision they can that will best serve them. That is your job. So you need to have the competence to educate them. What is going on in the marketplace? Okay? Don't panic, just educate them. Tell them what's going on. So when the market was busy, when we're having multiple offers, we had 0.8, 1 month, 1.2 months of inventory in many markets all across Canada. They're all a little different, I understand that. Well, of course, we're getting multiple offers. Then all of a sudden, we go to 2.5. Now, we're getting multiple offers. We know everything is going to sell in a matter of days. Well, you go to 2.5. Let's say you're at 3 months of inventory. Then you need to counsel the sellers differently. Could you say something like this? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if I go back and look at the market 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, we had 1 month of inventory. Obviously, that means everything was selling within a month. 1 month of inventory means everything turns over within a month. But right now, we're sitting at 3. So what that generally means is we're going to have right now roughly 1 out of 3 properties that are going to sell in any given month. That's what we're dealing with right now. Which means if we're going to go to market, then what we need to do is we need to look at our 2 or 3 strongest competitors right now. And we can no longer price according to what is sold. We now have to price according to what is up for sale. Because when a buyer goes out and starts looking, they are looking at your competition. So what we want to do is we want to take a look at what is for sale right now that would be our direct competition. And then what we have to do is make sure we show better, that buyers can get in this house, and that when they look at the 3 or 4 homes that might be our competition, what prices are going to take for them to choose you. That's a different way to counsel, isn't it? That's creating a new what? Competence. So what you're doing is you're helping them make the best decision. So what about buyers? You're sitting with buyers and buyers say, well, boy, I don't know if this is a good time to buy because guess what? Prices might be going down. Mom, we got all these 16 points here happening in Ontario. We got all this crazy stuff going on all over the place. Now our interest rates are starting to go up. Well, if interest rates go up, prices are going to go down. Why don't we wait? I go, well, just a minute here. If I went back and I showed buyers this right here, I said, take a look at interest rates. We've been at record low for 7 years. Now, do you think interest rates are going to go up or they're going to go down over the next little while? All of the banks saying they're going to go up. Bank of Canada has suggested they're going to go up. We are going to see mild increases, I believe, over the next 12 months. Which means if you buy a house today, you're going to take advantage of probably the lowest rates you're going to have in the next little while. But not only that, what about buying a house? Are houses sort of on sale a little bit right now? Are there some people that really need to sell that are probably going to take a little bit less? I would suggest so. That's what happens in a marketplace when it starts to shift. Some people won't take less, but some will. So it's a good time to go out, take your time, have a good look around, okay? Maybe get yourself a house right now for a lower price than you would have paid 3 or 4 months ago and lock in the lowest interest rate. Chances are you're going to be able to lock in, say, in the next year or so. Would that be good counsel? Yes. Now, is everybody going to do what you think they should do? No. But here's the deal, everybody. First of all, you got to make sure that what you're doing is you're telling the right story, okay? And you have the right narrative going on in your head. This market is exciting. This market is a wonderful time to be in real estate. But you have to make sure you're telling yourself the right story. And secondly, you got to develop the competence, which might be different than it was 4 or 5 months ago, to deal in the marketplace. And when you do those 2 things, I promise you this, you won't do less business than before, you will do more business than before, because I've seen it time and time again. So all I'm saying is this, sure there's some changes going on, but guess what? The only thing constant in the world is what? Change. It's not the change that matters, it's how you respond or react to the change that will ultimately determine your success. Don't let the market determine your success, you determine your success. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. And remember, everybody, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.